air. Have you ever wondered if something as small as the kind of oil you cook with could quietly be damaging your brain? Now imagine this. Every 40 seconds, someone in the United States has a stroke. That's over 795,000 people a year. And you know what? It's not always genetics. It's not always aging. Sometimes it's simply what's on our plate day after day. You see, when it comes to brain health, we often think about crossword puzzles, memory games, or maybe even Sudoku. But here's the surprising truth. Some of the most powerful protectors or destroyers of your brain are hiding right there in your kitchen pantry. In this video, we're going to carefully uncover 5 harmful fats that can put your brain at serious risk, and also 5 healing ones that could help you stay sharp, steady, and strong well into your golden years. But I won't give it all away just yet. Stick with me, because some of these may surprise you. Even the so-called healthy fats you thought were safe might not be so friendly after all. And before we dive in, let me ask you something. If you're someone who's always curious to learn how everyday foods affect your health, drop a 1 in the comments. But if you usually just eat whatever's convenient, drop a point. Either way, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more helpful videos like this from Smart Health 365. All right, let's start with one type of fat that might be lurking in your favorite snacks and why it's quietly raising your risk for stroke. Trans fats. You'll often find them in things like deep-fried chicken, crispy fries from your favorite fast food joint, or even those soft, fluffy pastries sitting on the grocery shelf, the ones that never seem to go stale. Trans fats are made when manufacturers turn liquid oils into solid fats, like shortening or margarine, through a process called hydrogenation. Sounds sciencey, right? But here's the scary part. They don't just sit harmlessly in our bodies. These fats trigger inflammation in our blood vessels, damage the lining of our arteries, and raise bad cholesterol levels. That's like setting the stage for a stroke, one bite at a time. A study published in the journal Neurology tracked over 1,600 older adults. The result? Those with higher levels of trans fats in their blood had up to a 50% higher risk of developing dementia. And dementia isn't just memory loss, it's your brain's wiring slowly fraying over time. Think about it. Every time you eat that golden brown fried food, cooked in reused oil, you could be feeding the fire of inflammation in your brain and blood vessels. So, what can you do? Start by checking food labels for partially hydrogenated oils. If you see that, put it right back on the shelf. And if you're craving something crunchy, try air-fried veggies or a handful of nuts instead. You'll still get that satisfying texture without the toxic load. Saturated fats. Now, let's talk about another kind of fat that's common in American kitchens, and it can quietly raise your stroke risk even more. These are the fats that make your steak juicy, your butter rich, and your bacon irresistible. But while they might please your taste buds, they're not always so kind to your arteries. Saturated fats are mostly found in red meat, full-fat dairy like butter and cream, lard, and tropical oils such as palm oil. The issue? When consumed in excess, they raise levels of LDL cholesterol, the kind doctors call bad cholesterol. And when LDL gets too high, it starts building up inside your blood vessels, narrowing the space for blood to flow. That means less oxygen reaching your brain and a higher risk of clots and strokes. In fact, a major review published in the British Medical Journal showed that replacing just 5% of your daily calories from saturated fat with healthier fats could reduce your risk of stroke by nearly 20%. That's a simple shift with a powerful payoff. Picture this. You start your morning with a buttery croissant, cook your eggs in bacon grease, and then enjoy a creamy stew for dinner. It might feel comforting, but that kind of daily pattern adds up, and your brain pays the price. Here's a small step you can take today. Swap out butter with olive oil when cooking. Choose leaner cuts of meat. And maybe try a meatless Monday every once in a while. Your heart and your brain will thank you. Omega-6 fatty acids. Coming up next is a kind of fat most people think is healthy, but too much of it can tip the balance and stir up serious trouble. Sounds healthy, right? After all, omega-6s are technically essential fats. Your body does need them. But here's the catch. Too much omega-6, especially without enough omega-3 to balance it out, can actually fuel inflammation. You'll find omega-6s in many vegetable oils, like corn oil, soybean oil, and sunflower oil. These oils are common in processed foods and deep-fried meals. Think fast food fries, store-bought salad dressings, even some crackers. The average American diet today has a ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 that's way out of balance, sometimes as high as 20 to 1. Ideally, it should be closer to 4 to 1 or even 2 to 1. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people with a higher omega-6 to omega-3 ratio had significantly more markers of inflammation and a higher risk of cardiovascular issues. So here's what you can do. Start replacing those refined vegetable oils with healthier options like extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. And try adding more omega-3 rich foods to your plate, like salmon, walnuts, chia seeds, or ground flax seeds. It's not about cutting omega-6 completely, it's about bringing things back into balance. LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol. Now, let's turn to a kind of cholesterol that becomes especially dangerous when it gets damaged, and it's more common than you might think. LDL cholesterol is often called the bad cholesterol. But here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. It becomes especially dangerous when it gets oxidized. Oxidized LDL is like rusted metal in your bloodstream. It doesn't just float around harmlessly, it sticks to your artery walls, causes inflammation, and kicks off plaque buildup. Over time, this narrows your arteries and raises your risk of stroke and heart attack. Where does oxidized LDL come from? Mostly from eating foods fried in reused oil, like the kind you find in fast food places or street food stands, where oil is used again and again until it turns dark and sticky. It's also common in old animal fats that have been sitting in your fridge or freezer for too long. A study published in the journal Atherosclerosis found that people with higher levels of oxidized LDL had a significantly greater risk of stroke and cognitive decline, even when their total cholesterol numbers looked normal. It's not just about the amount, it's about the quality of cholesterol in your body. What can you do today? Try to avoid deep-fried fast food, especially when you're unsure how fresh the oil is. Cook at home when possible and use fresh ingredients. Also, eat more antioxidant-rich foods like berries, leafy greens, and green tea. They help prevent LDL from oxidizing in the first place. Hydrogenated oils. Coming up next, one more fat you've probably eaten this week, and it may be silently raising your stroke risk with every bite. Hydrogenated oils. These are the fats used to make margarine, shortening, and many processed baked goods. They're engineered to give food a longer shelf life and that perfect flaky texture. But inside your body, they're doing far more harm than good. Hydrogenated oils are another big source of trans fats, even if the label says 0 grams. That's because, in the U.S., products can legally claim 0 trans fat if they contain less than 0.5 gram per serving. But here's the trick. If you're eating multiple servings or multiple products in one day, those trace amounts can add up quickly. These fats are especially dangerous because they don't just raise your bad cholesterol, they actually lower your good cholesterol too. That double whammy effect makes your blood vessels more prone to inflammation, clots, and ultimately stroke. According to research published in the journal Circulation, people whose diets are high in hydrogenated oils have a significantly increased risk of ischemic stroke, the kind caused by blocked blood flow to the brain. Think of it this way. Every time you spread margarine on your toast or take a bite of a packaged cookie, you may actually be feeding the very fats that increase your risk of a brain clot. These foods don't just taste harmless, they can silently work against you, setting the stage for serious health issues years down the road. So, what can you do instead? Choose natural spreads like avocado or nut butters. When you're buying baked goods, always check the label and look for the phrase non-hydrogenated. Or better yet, try making your own at home with whole, real ingredients. That way, you know exactly what's going into your body. Now that we've talked about the fats you should avoid, let's move into something far more hopeful, the fats that actually protect and nourish your brain for years to come. Omega-3 fatty acids. These are the fats your brain truly loves. You'll find them in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, as well as in plant-based sources like chia seeds, flax seeds, and walnuts. Omega-3s do something remarkable. They reduce inflammation, help keep blood flowing smoothly, and prevent platelets from clumping together, lowering your risk of dangerous clots that can lead to a stroke. One large study, published in Stroke, the Journal of the American Heart Association, followed more than 70,000 people. It found that those who regularly ate omega-3 rich fish had a dramatically lower risk of both ischemic and hemorrhagic stroke. But that's not all. Omega-3s are also key components of your brain cell membranes. They help maintain flexibility, support smooth communication between brain cells, and may even slow down age-related cognitive decline. And here's the best part, even small changes matter. If you're not a fan of fish, don't worry. Sprinkle chia seeds on your oatmeal, blend ground flax seeds into your morning smoothie, or snack on a handful of walnuts in the afternoon. Each of these tiny choices adds up. Try aiming for fish twice a week, or simply add a spoonful of flax seeds to your daily routine. Your brain will thank you with sharper focus and clearer thinking. Monosaturated fats. Next, let's talk about another type of fat that doesn't just protect your brain, it also helps clean up your cholesterol. These are the so-called heart-healthy, brain-friendly fats found in olive oil, avocados, almonds, and cashews. If you've ever enjoyed a drizzle of olive oil on a fresh salad or spread creamy avocado onto warm toast, you've already experienced these benefits. Monosaturated fats lower LDL cholesterol, the harmful kind that clogs arteries, while boosting HDL cholesterol, the helpful kind that sweeps LDL away. Clearer, more flexible blood vessels mean better blood flow to the brain. That translates into sharper thinking, reduced risk of stroke, and improved long-term memory. A long-term study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that people who ate diets rich in monounsaturated fats had significantly lower rates of both stroke and age-related memory loss. And remember, this isn't about overhauling your entire diet overnight. Even small swaps make a difference. Switch butter for extra virgin olive oil in cooking. Snack on almonds instead of chips. Add a few avocado slices to your sandwich or salad. Over time, these little changes become habits, and those habits shape a healthier brain. Polyunsaturated fats. Now let's highlight another group of fats that often get overlooked. They may not be trendy, but they quietly work in the background to support both your brain and your heart. You'll find them in sunflower oil, flaxseed oil, soybean oil, walnuts, and sunflower seeds. What makes these fats special is that they're essential. Your body can't make them on its own. You must get them through your diet. Polyunsaturated fats lower total cholesterol and triglycerides, which improves heart health. And when your heart is stronger, your brain benefits too, because strong circulation delivers oxygen and nutrients exactly where they're needed. Research in the journal Stroke followed adults over 60 and found that those who consumed higher amounts of polyunsaturated fats had a lower risk of blood clots and arterial narrowing. That translates to fewer strokes, better memory retention, and clearer mental focus as we age. And adding them to your meals is simple. Drizzle flaxseed oil over steamed vegetables. Use sunflower oil for light sautéing. Or sprinkle walnuts and sunflower seeds on your yogurt or oatmeal. Small, easy changes, but with big, lasting impact. Medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs. Now let's look at a unique type of fat that gets turned directly into energy, medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs. These are most commonly found in pure coconut oil. Unlike the long-chain fats in most oils, MCTs are different because your body doesn't store them. Instead, they're converted straight into fuel for your brain and muscles. This is especially helpful as we age, when metabolism naturally slows. MCTs provide clean, fast-burning energy that your brain can rely on. Studies published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience suggest that MCTs may improve cognitive function in people with mild memory problems. They also help reduce oxidative stress, the internal rust that damages cells and speeds up brain aging. Think of MCTs as a spark plug for your brain, keeping it running smoothly when energy dips. To add more into your diet, try stirring a teaspoon of virgin coconut oil into your morning coffee or smoothie. Use it for light cooking or mix it into oatmeal for a subtle nutty flavor. Just remember, moderation is key. Balance always matters. Phospholipids. Finally, let's talk about a lesser-known but powerful group of fats, phospholipids. These are the building blocks of your brain's cell membranes, found in everyday foods like egg yolks and soybeans. Phospholipids keep brain cells flexible and strong, allowing them to communicate efficiently. They're like insulation around electrical wires. Without them, brain signals slow down. This becomes especially important as we age, when our brain cells start losing some of that protective coating. Research published in Nutrients found that phospholipids, especially a type called phosphatidylserine, improve memory, attention, and even mood in older adults. In other words, they help keep your mental gears turning smoothly well into your 70s and beyond. So instead of tossing out the yolk and eating only egg whites, consider eating the whole egg, especially pasture-raised ones. If you enjoy tofu, edamame, or soy milk, those are also excellent sources of phospholipids. You don't need exotic supplements, just simple, nourishing foods that your brain already knows how to use. Final thoughts. Now that we've explored both the harmful and the healing fats in your daily meals, I hope you feel more empowered. The truth is, the choices we make in the kitchen, what we fry, what we drizzle, what we snack on, quietly shape the health of our brain and the strength of our memory. You don't have to change everything overnight. Even one small step, swapping margarine for olive oil or adding a handful of walnuts to your day, sends your brain a powerful message. I've got your back. The truth is, it's never too late. Your brain is always adapting, always healing, always responding to care. And that care can start with something as simple as what you put on your plate today. If this video made you think differently about the fats you eat, share it with someone you love. And if you'd like more videos that guide you gently toward better health, subscribe to Health 365. We're on this journey together, learning, growing, and taking care of the one body we've been given. And finally, if you've made it this far, that says something beautiful about how much you truly value your health. Keep going. Your brain deserves it.